If you're still drawing your roof lines manually, there is a much better way. Today we're going to cover how to create an automatic roof line over. Now, if you do have a floor plan drawn up, and you've got a roof drawn up as well, but it's not showing up on the ground floor below, there could be a couple of things going on. If it's not showing up on the floor plan, we'll want to go to our roof plan. So in our view map, we'll just go to the story that we've got our roof set to. On this story, we'll select the roof and we'll go to settings, and we'll make sure that just under here where it says floor plan and section, we'll go to show on stories and we'll go click on this one. Now what we could do is go all stories. And if we go okay, and then we double click on our ground floor plan, then it's going to show up. Now the other little benefit of this as well is that it's also going to show up on our site plan. But if we don't want it to show up on the site plan because there's too much visual information going on, if we go back to the roof plan, we'll select our roof and we'll go back to our setting. We can adjust which stories it's going to show on. So if we just want it to show on the one below, we can go home story and one below, or we can go to custom. And this is where we can set it up however many stories above and stories below. There's more nuance in this, which I'm going to jump into a little bit later, but for now, let's just jump out and we'll leave this at all stories. Next thing you'll want to make sure that you've got set is your outlines. So overhead lines, you'll want to make sure those are set to a dashed line. Whereas if they're set to a solid line, if we go okay and we go down, they're all set as solid. Now, the cool thing about having our roof now viewable on our floor plan is that we can also edit it on our floor plan as well, instead of going up and down the stories. So if I click on this and then I say, click the pitching point, I can bring this out. And not only does it do it on the floor plan, but it also does it on the home story as well. So I'll just undo that one. Now, if for some reason it's cutting through your roof plane like this, where it's showing parts of the roof as if it's viewing it from top down, but other parts like it's still dashed, all we'll need to do is go to document and we'll go to floor plan cut plane, this one just here. So if we click on this, this is going to dictate where that cut line is cut through. So if I change this height just here, and I change it to say 1100, and we go okay, and it's going to change it back so it's just that dashed line around. This might be a little bit different depending on how it's set up with your project, so it might take a little bit of troubleshooting to get it to just the right height. Now that we've got the fundamentals covered, I'm going to go back into that nuance. So if we select the roof and we go into our roof settings, instead of all stories, if we go to all relevant stories, this is where it's going to get interesting. If we go okay and double click, it's still going to be showing on this story here. But let's say we go to our site plan, double click, all of a sudden it's disappeared. And this is where we're going to go back to our floor plan cut plane, which we just covered a second ago. So this here, if we want to be able to show a roof on our site plan, what we'll do is we'll go offset by, and for this one, I'm going to go the height of the wall on my story above. So I'm going to go okay. And there we go. Now, if I redefine with current window setting, it's now going to keep those settings that we just set up in the floor plan cut plane. Now, this is one you might need to play with a little bit, depending on what your floor heights and where your roof plane is going to be. But this is how we set it up. Now, the reason why you might want it set up like that is if we were to happen to set up a extra story. So at the moment, we've got just a single story. We've got ground floor, roof, and the roof frame. But if I want to make this into, say, like a two-story development, if I go to create new story and I'll go above, I'm going to go first floor, I'm going to go create. Now I've got another floor in there. I'm going to set this one's height, say 3000 as well. We'll go okay. Just going to jump back into my floor plan. Just go ahead and select all the walls as well as the slabs, copy those above and paste those ones in. And then I'll go into 3D. We'll see how it looks. Hey, there we go. We've got a two-story dwelling there now. Let's go ahead and get rid of this garage door as well as this. Oh, one last thing. I'll just go to the organizer. So I'll take this new story that I just created, this one just here, from the project map over to the view map. So I'll drag and drop this one in. So we're currently sitting on first floor and we've got a roof line over, which is great. And if we now go down to our ground floor, we'll find that we don't have a roof line over, which is typically how we want it shown. We only want the roof from above to be shown on the floor below. So we don't want it shown on the ground floor plan. And this is where having the roof setting set to all relevant stories comes in really handy. So if I go okay, and then I go through to my site plan, it's disappeared again. So I'll go back to document, floor plan cut plane, and this time I'll bump it up again. So this time to say 6000, we'll go okay. And there we go. Now we've got a roof line over on our site plan. I'll just redefine the window. There we go. So that one's kept there whenever I go back to it. It's also shown on this first floor, but it's not shown on this ground floor. So from now on, you'll never have to update your roof line on your site plan and on your floor plan ever again. Now, if you'd like this ArchiCAD file or any of my other tutorial files, they're now available over on Patreon, which is a space where I can look after a small group, creating and sharing custom resources. There are limited spots though. Now, if you're keen to check out more tips and tricks, I think you'll love this video just over here.